And for the next item, if it suits the board, I would like to shift, rather than taking 5.01 as the next item, I'd like to take item 7.01, the Equity Ambassador Program update, and shift it to the next portion of our agenda to honor the time our students have dedicated to be with us today, and allow them to be on their way after this presentation, if that suits the board. All right, if so, then we'll have Dr. Mans come forward, as well as our outstanding student presenters representing high schools across the school division, to showcase the incredible work of our Equity Ambassador Program. We're so pleased to welcome our students to the podium this afternoon. Dr. Mans?
Good afternoon, members of the school board and Superintendent Cashwell. The Equity Ambassador Program provides students from across the district the opportunity to discuss current issues affecting our schools, while also equipping them with the knowledge and leadership skills necessary to advance equity and diversity inclusivity initiatives within their own community. This is in direct alignment with the division's strategic plan and equity and opportunity and safety and wellness cornerstones. Every high school student is eligible, but they are asked to submit an application. Over the last 2 years, more than 400 students have applied to be part of our program. We hope to continue to build upon this level of engagement and make an even greater impact within the HCPS school district. As part of today's presentation, a representative from each of our award-winning school equity ambassador chapters will share an update with you.
Good afternoon, members of the school board and Superintendent Cashwell. My name is Xavier Bessie, and I am a part-time program assistant with the Office of EDO, Equity, Diversity, and Opportunity. This year, I had the pleasure of leading the book clubs and held monthly meetings with the students to discuss specific sections and themes from their book. Participation in the book clubs were voluntary and parent approved. Following that, the students recorded reflective podcasts or wrote a personal narrative. It was a wonderful learning experience for me as well as our students. We are now going to shift our attention to the events that have been sponsored by all of the equity ambassadors in Henrico County this year. Each school group must plan at least 2 events or activities that directly address issues of equality or inclusivity in order to keep their charter as an equity ambassador at our schools. On the basis of qualitative student reporting and quantitative statistics gathered across the entire school, we are able to identify these areas of concern. Members of the program's executive committee will now present brief descriptions of these activities and events, as well as the rationale behind their decisions regarding those activities that we implemented during the previous academic year.
Good afternoon. My name is Ibram Abdelmalek, and this year I had the honor of serving as Glen Allen High School's executive representative. Our first activity consisted of conducting a survey with the purpose of gaining a deeper understanding of diversity education in the Glen Allen community. After over 200 responses, we discovered that there is a potential for improvement in terms of providing more diversity-related material in classrooms, based on the feedback we received from faculty, administration, and our fellow students. We were successful in locating educators who did an exceptional job of successfully implementing curriculum relating to diversity into their classrooms. As you can see from the slide, POC representation tends to decrease tremendously from elementary to high school. This should not be the case. There should be more POC representation throughout a student's educational journey. We were able to put this information to use in order to better the execution of our second event. Equity Ambassadors hosted a documentary viewing and discussion focusing on the PBS documentary, Asian Americans. This is a 5-part documentary spanning 5 hours. So we focused our viewing on the 4th episode, titled Generation Rising. This episode discussed the labor movement and Vietnam resistance on college campuses. After viewing, participants met to discuss the documentary, AAPI history, and voices in the classroom over pastries. It was a great success, and several underclassmen showed interest in joining Equity Ambassadors next year.
Good afternoon. My name is Samaj, and I've had the privilege of being selected to be the Executive Associate for the Randolph chapter of the Equity Ambassadors Program. One of our primary objectives with the students at Virginia Randolph is inclusion. As a result, our 2 mandatory programs were oriented on community service. Our first event was divided into 2 halves. The first first part was the candygram sale. Positive words were printed on the candygrams by the other members. The Randolph family assembled the candygrams, which were then sold and distributed by the students. The second phase was to use the proceeds from the goodies to open a school store for the instructors and kids to use. Our school store's mission was to supply not just school supplies for our children and staff, but also PPE products. We provided masks, hand sanitizers, tissues, and disinfectant wipes and sprays, among other supplies. The second thing that we did was work on a project to improve the appearance of the school. We encouraged the students to participate in the refurbishment of our school by painting the walls with images of natures that are thought to calm the mind and spirit. In addition, in order to promote this activity, a neighborhood and mom and pop business provided the catering for the meal.
Good afternoon, School Board and Dr. Cashwell. My name is Damon Parrish, and I am the Executive Associate for Highland Springs High School. Our goal this school year was to ensure a space for all students that provided them with resources they require and making students feel represented through school-based activities. Our group was able to organize 2 events that proved to be both productive and pleasant for students and reflected the goals we set out to achieve. For our first event, we provided and continue to provide hygiene goods to all students who may not have them easily accessible or available outside of school. Despite the fact that we now inhabit a new school building, we still do not possess dispensers for certain hygiene items in our restrooms. Because of this, we implemented and assigned our hygiene stations in every hallway throughout the school. Beyond products specific to menstruation, we recognize male students and those who identify outside of that require hygiene supplies as well. As a result, we expanded our stations to provide deodorants, lotions, toothpaste and toothbrushes, wipes, and soap in addition to menstruation products. As for our second event, during Black History Month, fellow equity ambassadors participated in a standing wax museum to commemorate important African American figures. The museum enables students to learn about historical and current prominent African American individuals who have made great contributions to history, exposing them to people they may not have known otherwise. Students that took part were able to conduct research on their chosen individual and write a bio for the student They were able to write a bio for the student tourists to read. In this way, both learned material that was not offered in the classroom. The events had a tremendous impact at our school, since community stakeholders such as parents, local companies, teachers, students, and so on, also supported by continuing to supply and donate items for our stations. The museum proved to be both empowering and educational for students and families that attended, as well as faculty. We received numerous comments, emails, and students even asked if they might be able to participate in the following year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sagar Murthy, and I've been chosen as the executive representative for Freeman High School for this past school year. This year marked the 4th annual Freeman Family Culture Day. This was the first time it was held in person since 2019 and was our most eclectic and well-attended Culture Day yet. Culture Day in Freeman is a day dedicated to celebrate the cultural and ethnic diversity of the community. Student volunteers can be presenters, performers, crafts organizers, and even help with logistics. Students share unique games such as Doc G, Squid Game, chess, and numerous other ones. Food from their various cuisines, Hispanic, Asian, Arabic, and Indian, their music, and their various native attire through our fashion show, and many other aspects of their culture that they might not otherwise have had the opportunity to share at school. It not only provides students with a voice, but it also allows for a more meaningful and intimate community connection. Our other function of the school year was our first ever AP course fair. During our many equity ambassador meetings here and at our school, the lack of diversity in our higher level classes continued to stick out. And so the Freeman Equity Ambassadors teamed up with the Freeman Faculty Equity Team to host a large AP course fair where students were able to see colorful travel boards about the course and content and hear from people who reflected Freeman's diverse backgrounds, while also taking a look at the syllabus and AP review books. The AP course fair saw a large and diverse crowd. We wanted to show people that there are people who look like them in AP courses. We wanted to let students know that taking an AP course does not force you to take the exam. We wanted to let students know that the school would help students academically and financially if they decided to take an AP course. At Freeman High School, the Mavericks are constantly striving toward equity and diversity. As always, go Mavs. I'll also be speaking for Verina High School. So instead of considering equity and diversity when organizing Verina's events, they decided to focus on unity and inclusion. Their first event was a police forum in hopes of strengthening the relationship among students and authorities. Next, they organized a variety of Black History Month activities, including educational games, a photo booth, and much more. Last but not least, they organized Verina Special Olympics for students with mental and/or physical disabilities. It was a day filled with support, games, food, music, and volunteers, including some of our very own state champs.
Hello, good evening, school board members. My name is Maria Ángel Zamora, and I'm a part of Equity Ambassadors Godwin chapter. Because there was not really a program at Godwin that did that, our Equity Ambassadors team chose to focus on building a platform that broadcasts cultural or really any event that contributes to bringing equity at our school. This effort was carried out through the Equity Ambassadors Bulletin Board. Our first event honored Women's History Month. During the month of March, we designed and distributed flyers with a QR code that allowed Godwin women and girls to submit photos of themselves or others, as well as something that they had accomplished during their time at Godwin. This project was able to highlight the accomplishments of women in Godwin and truly allowed Godwin students to honor previous and present female students or educators. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Minna Loalbet, and I'm a member of the Tucker High Academic Executive Committee for the 21-22 school year. This school year at Tucker, we have placed a strong emphasis on cultural responsiveness and education for our multi-ethnic student body on the myriad of cultures and ways of identifying oneself that are in existence. We invited a former employee of the Governor's Office of Equity and Inclusion to come to us as a guest speaker on her experience belonging as an immigrant and the different challenges she had as a result of this. During the course of her speech, the Equity Ambassadors engaged in discourse with her regarding her professional endeavors and personal experiences as an Asian American professional. This event was broadcast in real time on the school's website so that everyone could view it. For our second event, we had a cultural week. Students constructed stands that showed some aspect of their culture or identity background. At these stands, in addition to food and music, students were able to participate in a variety of activities and obtain information about the culture. Throughout the course of the week, we participated in this activity during our breaks for lunch. We hope that by taking these steps, as many people as were able to attend would be able to do so, and that the various cultures that were there will be able to share some of their customs with the kids of Tucker. In the end, scheduling the events to happen during our lunch periods allowed for almost all of the students to participate as we hoped, and allowed for some very positive feedback from the students. The cultures presented were able to talk about their customs and the various activities they brought, educating students, faculty, and staff on all the beautiful ways of identifying that are a part of what makes our community at Tucker so unique.
Good afternoon. My name is Zara Ahmed, and I am the Executive Committee member from Deep Run High School. This year, we conducted two projects. Our first one was called the Identity Project. The Identity Project consisted of the collaboration of over 1,500 students and most of the Deep Run staff. This project's goal was to reinforce to students that they are not alone. To achieve this goal, the ambassadors of Deep Run proposed a project in which students would write aspects of their identities on a blue or green flashcard. Those flashcards were then constructed into a large world map. The majority of students in their English class got an opportunity to write on this note card a word or phrase that they believed defined their identity. Once the map was constructed, students got an opportunity to see a visual representation of the multiple and diverse identities that make up this Deep Run student population in a very frequented hallway. Our second project is the Uncomfortable Conversation series, which is a continuation of a joint effort initiative by the Deep Run Equity Ambassadors and Minority Student Union. Each year, a different topic is chosen, and questions are generated from Deep Run students. This year's topic was Asian American experience. Throughout this conversation, Deep Run emphasized the voices of Asian Americans in our community and gave them a spotlight to discuss the issues that impacted their communities. Bringing light to these uncomfortable topics and discussions in Deep Run gives the school an opportunity to take action on improving the situations for the students. Overall, Deep Run's ambassadors conducted 2 projects where students were ultimately given a voice and an opportunity to be seen and heard by their peers. We believe that our projects help emphasize the main theme of creating a culture of belonging. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stuart Kareem, and I'm a junior at Henrico High School. I'll be presenting as the Equity Caucus member. The Henrico High School Equity Ambassadors had 2 goals this year. One was to support the positive representation of minority groups on campus, and 2 was to partner with the administration in their planning and policies that promote equity and opportunity. In pursuit of these goals, the HHS Equity Ambassadors co-planned the 5th annual Henrico High School Black History Month program. We worked in tangent with the Black Student Union and Roots organization to incorporate multiple perspectives and representation of the Black community. To meet our second goal, we created and facilitated student and faculty focus groups to foster conversation and gather data for our school's administration for planning of the 2022-2023 school year. We decided to go with the focus group model since historically our school has had low participation in school level and district-wide surveys. Focus groups were created using a mixture of student volunteers and students who were selected to participate. Faculty groups were created solely through teacher volunteers. Student groups were facilitated by equity ambassadors. Questions for discussion centered around the following topics: mental health, school safety, equity opportunity, communication between stakeholders, and discipline. Data was aggregated and presented to our school's equity team lead by administrative intern, Mr. Green. This information will be used to help set equity goals as a part of the Henrico High School VC-SIP process. Thank you.
Hello. Sorry. Okay. Hello, my name is Catherine, and I'm a member of Hermitage High School's Equity Ambassador Organization. The activities that took place at Hermitage this year concentrated on our school's past and fostering an inclusive environment for all students. A significant number of students expressed their discontent with having to go back to school at the beginning of the 2021-2022 academic year. This was made very evident by the fact that they did not participate in any school activities. This was reflected in how unenthusiastic people were about participating in our school's pep rallies. As a direct consequence of this, the Equity Ambassador Group at Hermitage has made a decision to support teachers and staff in the preparation of pep rallies. We were under the impression that if our opinions were taken into consideration throughout the planning stages, the event as a whole would be of higher quality. We wanted to make these rallies more welcoming for everyone, not just athletes or certain student organizations, so that everyone could feel like they were being acknowledged. During the month of March, we hosted a Spirit Week event that had activities focusing on both cultural heritage and mental health awareness. These were conceived with the goal of making students more at ease with the knowledge that their classmates could empathize with the challenges they faced. Students who reported feeling that their culture was well represented in the classroom were more likely to talk openly about their experiences. Stress is something that everyone goes through, especially in the last few months of a school year. These feelings do not make you less capable or less intelligent. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you all to all of our Equity Ambassador presenters today. Let's give them a round of applause for their hard work. Through the Student Voice and Equity Ambassador programming, we hope that all students will see the power of their voices in actions. Richmond native tennis champion and human rights activist Arthur Ashe said it best: start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. This is what our Equity Ambassadors do every single year, and we are proud to highlight their work for you today.
Thank you, Dr. Mans, and the entire team of students. I know you're kind of hidden from our view right now. If you don't mind coming forward once again so we can give you one more round of applause where we can see you. Thank you so much for your efforts. They're incredible. And I would offer if board members have questions or comments they want to share with our ambassadors at this time, and then we promise we'll send you on your way so you can enjoy summer. Thanks again for giving of your time, not only throughout the school year, but this afternoon.
Yeah, out of respect for you, I won't repeat what Dr. Cashwell just said, but please know we really did appreciate you taking time today to share all the wonderful things and the equity work you have going on across our comprehensive high schools. And I guess I'll start with Reverend Cooper.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kinsella. So I don't really have any questions, but I just want to say that I'm always impressed by the work of the Equity Ambassadors and the opportunities for student voice to be amplified in HCPS. I want to give kudos to Dr. Mans, the EDO team, and our students. The work of this department is doing is so rich and is embedded throughout our strategic plan. And when we go to the department's page on our Henrico School's website, I feel that the information is not laid out in a way that's user-friendly or even designed in a way that highlights the awesome work that's being done across the division. I know this may be a cost or resource-related question, but I'd love to know how can we support a redesign of the department's website so we can easily access presentations like the one presented here today.
I'd let you know we're actually revamping our entire Henrico Schools website, which would include various department pages. And so I saw Mrs. Cox rising to give that same answer. And if I covered it, just know a revamp is underway. Our incredible web team actually gave us a preview of that effort. They've been working with the entire leadership team on that. So more to come.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper, and I think the rest of your colleagues would probably agree with that. So I'm glad it's underway. We can't wait till all the information we want to find is readily accessible out on our website. I guess next I'm going to go to Ms. Ogburn.
I echo what Reverend Cooper said, but also I was truly impressed with how each school is meeting the needs of the kids in their school. I mean, from providing personal care products to everything that you're doing, it is just incredible to me to meet the needs of the kids who go there. And that's what Student Voice is all about. You're letting us know what you need. And so kudos to Dr. Mans for implementing this, taking it and running with it, but to the students for making it what it is and doing what you do for the benefit of everyone in your school. I'm just so impressed. I can't tell you. It's one of those things that you hope when somebody has an idea, it will work this well, but it's because of all of you working together. And hopefully that sense of working together and working for your community will hold you for many years to come. When you're adults out in the world, you'll spread the love then too. But thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. Next, I'm going to go to Ms. Atkins.
So certainly students are stakeholders in their own learning. So you are a stakeholder in your own learning, and also leveraging the opportunities that Henrico County Public School provides. And through the EDO office, you've leveraged your thoughts, turned them into ideas, and you put them into action that help yourself grow. You've helped others see what is possible when you move. You did that. And so I hope that you take this experience and expand it not only in the school that you're in, but in your communities as well. Because you can do amazing things with an idea that's turned into an action. And so I'm very proud of each of you, and I'm very grateful because I think you're going to continue the work that you do, whether it's formal, through the EDO office, or even in your own homes, understanding that when you see a need and you complement it with an idea that you implement, you make a difference every time. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for your presentations, and I look forward to see all that you're going to achieve.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. Mrs. Shea?
Thank you. You know, one of the things that really jumped out at me during your presentation is the same thing that Ms. Ogburn noted, and that's really how individual your plans are for each of your schools and how you really took time to identify what the needs of your schools were and how to meet those. We're certainly not a one-size-fits-all kind of county, and the work y'all are doing, really boots on the ground to make a difference in your individual communities, is really admirable. So thank you for taking time to make this a really genuinely implemented program by individualizing it to your schools. Also, that was a great go Mavs. I know Dr. Marshall would be proud.
Thank you, Mrs. Shea. And now it's my turn, which I started off, so I'll just close by just saying thank you. Anytime we're looking for an answer in education, all we need to do is look to our students and student voice. And you've certainly found it in each of our schools. As Ms. Atkins said, you know, action, opportunity, there are so many opportunities, and just thank you for taking your time today. And we look forward to seeing you again, whether it's back here, whether it's in your school, or I know I see at least one senior. So good luck to you, and keep making a difference in your community. Anyway, thank you very much. Dr. Cashwell.
Thank you again. We appreciate you being here. And I think we actually have some lunch or snacks or food for you. So please go enjoy, and thanks again for your great presentation.